So let's start a Tomcat. And last time we installed track database, Java 1.7 and the LDAP router. This three we done in the last session. Okay. So you all can see this error. Public key retrieval is not allowed. So this is a SailPoint data, not SailPoint, basically database error. What you need to do, go to your web apps, IDIQ, WebNF, classes, IQ properties, where we have provided the database information, right? This is the URL. So if you see after URL, there are multiple entry here. User server prepared statement will be true like this, SSL false like this. So one more additional property we need to add here. Okay. So what we need to do, we need to add the one property. Give that property. Okay. One second. Guys. Okay, I'm just forwarding this complete message in the group so you all can check. Okay, in case you're facing this issue, this is the entry you need to copy. So let me show you this. So I just copy that entry from the chat. And what I need to do, I have to come here to this IP properties and I have to add this. The one which I mentioned inside your in the WhatsApp group, right? That you have to add here. That's it. You save this. That's it. Now, if you start a server, you will not face this issue. When start a protocol. Server is started. Let's log in. So last time we onboarded one application finance. Now, last time, if you remember, we onboarded one databases. Basically, we configured one databases. That database is called track database for the track department, timesheet department. Basically, we need to onboard that. First, let me show you the database. Use track. In the track, we have tables, right? So show tables. Then we have two tables. So run this command, select star from users. So basically, these are the user who has account on the track application system, right? So if you see, we have similar kind of problem here. Oh, I think we don't have a similar problem. Okay, yeah. So we do have this all this user who has account on the track system, right? ID, username, first name, last name, email. Now we have another table that is capabilities. From the capability for every employee ID, we have a corresponding capability. Basically, this capability is basically entitlement of the track system, right? Now, whenever we onboard any database type of application system, right? Basically, how the database is designed, how many tables they have, right? The user information is provided into different tables, what primary key, foreign key they are using, right? We cannot check that, we cannot study that, right? Because most of the time they will not provide you access. And the second thing is, we are not here to study their database, what they are doing, right? So we have to simply ask, okay, provide us a query which will give all the users who has account on the track application system and their access, right? So now the track team will provide you this query which we need to use. This is the query they have provided. So use this query. So when you use this query, you will get the all user data who has account on the track with their entitlements. So if you see, we have ID, username, first name. Basically, this query is not doing special. Basically, it's merging the both table data, right? So now we have data basically in this format: ID, username, first name, email, ID, capability, description. So for example, Aaron Nicholas. So Aaron Nicholas data is again divided into 4 rows, right? So that means we need to perform merging, right? Out of this, which attribute we can use for uniqueness? So we can use ID, we can use email, right? Let's say ID email is not there, what we can use? We can use username also, right? Out of this, which attribute can be used for display purpose? Username, right? So all this question we need to always ask from the application team, or basically from the data we need to do analysis. Based on that, we need to start onboarding this application. So let's come here, add new application, track, owner. Let's say this application is managed by Adam Kennedy. Application type JDBC, Java Database Connectivity. Come to configurations, username, database username, password. I think I'm using different password for this batch. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. The URL we need to configure. So host name is localhost. Instead of this, we can provide IP if this database is located on the different server. Colon 3306 port number. DB name. So DB name is track. This is the JDBC driver for MySQL. If you are using different type of database, let's say PostgreSQL. This is one database. For this, simply type driver class name. This is a driver we need to use for Postgre. So based on that, we can update here what database we are using. Now you see this mandatory sign here. Here we need to provide this query to read data, the one we are using here. Provide this as it is. Come down here, click on the test connection. Test connection is successful. Go to the schema tab. Click on discover schema attribute. So it's reading all the headers from this. If you see ID, username, first time email, ID, it will not repeat again, capability and description. Out of this, which attribute we can use for uniqueness? We can use ID, we can use email, and we can also use username. So let's username here this time. Which attribute we can use for display attribute? Use username again. Come down to the preview. You see, first time records are not coming because we know that we have data into multiple rows. So we need to do merging. So come here, setting, merging. Data needs to be merged, yes. Index column, any unique column, username. Which column should be merged? Simple answer. Out of this, if you see, for example, Aaron Nicholas. ID is same, username is same. Which column has different values? That we need to merge capability. Capability has different value. Input records also. So select here capability. Now save this application. Open this again. And now you do the preview. Configuration, schema, preview. You see now all 10 records coming here. We know that capability is basically entitlement. So basically, track team says that capability define what a user can do on the track system. So this is entitlement. What we need to do? Edit, entitlement, manage, and multi-valued. Save this. Same time, we need to also define correlation, linking purpose. New, track correlation. Next. Application attribute. Which attribute will match? Let's say email. Select here email. If you remember, I think in the finance we used employee ID. Right now I'll use email. ID attribute email. Click on add. Next, save. Save this. This is done. Go to setup, task. Create a new count aggregation. Track, count. Okay. Previous section will save. Application scan, track. Disable optimization and promote manager attribute. Save and execute. So this time we are doing everything in one go. Now see the task result. It's running. Time 8 seconds. Applications can track. Total accounts can 156. Identity created only one. So there is only one identity which is not correlated, which is not linked. Other are updated. Entitlement, manage entitlement promoted 4. Manage entitlements means entitlement catalog. The entitlement which we manage from SailPoint. So filter here based on track. So we do have 4 entitlement coming from track. Identity entitlement created 300. So let's open this user one by one. We'll check. Aaron Nicholas. Aaron Nicholas is one employee. Application account, track. You see all 4 value coming here. Okay, because we performed merging. And we have also selected this capability attribute as an entitlement. So all this value will also come under entitlement tab. Any question here, anyone?
Hi, Raghav. So your voice
Your
audible?
voice is very low.
Is it better now?
Yeah, better.
Okay. So why we have selected multi-valued for that groups attribute?
Basically, so when you use the API, at that time, when you get this value, for example, if I go back to this user, when you ask API to get the first name, it will give you string. When you ask capability, it will always give you string. But actually capabilities have multiple values. So it's a list.
Okay.
So that's why we have to explicitly mark that attribute multi-valued.
Okay, but for the last onboarded application, like finance application, we did not select the multi-valued option.
So that also we need to do. Maybe I forgot to do that. So that it actually not impact here. That will impact when you start writing code, API part.
Okay.
This part, right? We should also select this multi-valued. User can hold multi-values for this particular attribute. That is a meaning.
Okay, if we fail to select that multi-valued option for that particular attribute, so I mean we will not be able to use that attribute when we write code, right?
You will be able to use it, but the type will be different.
Okay, so if
It will
we
be
select
string instead of list.
okay.
Now it is a string of it is a multiple string list.
Okay, okay. So if we fail to select, then it will be treated as a string. Then in that scenario, will we be able to get only one item if we
No,
call
no, no.
that?
You will get okay. How many values are here? 4,
4.
right?
Yes,
What about now?
I think it one
It
one list.
SailPoint will treat this as a one value string var equal to one value. So explicitly you need to split this.
Okay. So in
So
this
this is a
case,
string.
okay. So in this case, what is the value of where actually? Is it A or B or C or D?
The complete, this is a complete value. This is a string. If you put in the Java, this is how. In the
Oh,
Java, this is how it is.
okay, 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 okay. Okay, Rahul, understand.
It's a string of multiple values. We have to tell that don't treat this values in a single string. Instead of that, treat this as an individual value. So in that case, it will store in a list object, Java list, array list. Any other question, anyone?
Rahul, you said that we'll call API, right? So
Mhm.
how we will call API while onboarding JDBC application?
Not onboarding. Basically, when you have to build something, right, you will be using APIs when you're writing code. That time, let's say you want to read Aaron Nicholas track data, application data. How you will read that? So you'll be writing some APIs, right, provided by the SailPoint.
That will be discussed in later part of this
Yeah,
session.
the development session when we'll start. That time only.
Got it. Got it. Thank you.
As of now, basically, we are collecting data, but we have to make sure that we are collecting data in the right format. Example, if I don't select the schema attribute entitlement, still we have these 4 values here, correct? But SailPoint don't know that, okay, these are the entitlement. SailPoint has first name value, email value. So capability also has value. We have to explicitly tell SailPoint that, okay, treat this capability as an access on the target system. So that's why it's coming here in the entitlement tab. So when we are onboarding all this data, we have to make sure that we are onboarding in the right format, because you will always see unstructured data. Any other question here, anyone on the track application?
So can you please go back to that URL convention that you framed, right? The local host, then port number, the JDBC URL. So the naming convention is same, right? For
No,
every
no, no. So
JDBC
every
application.
database has a format. Let's say MySQL URL format. This is the format for MySQL.
Okay, this is something we can get it from Google.
Yeah, yeah. Simply
Okay,
type here on the Google, you will get this.
okay, okay.
Nothing
And
special about it.
if suppose, let's say, if I want to connect to PostgreSQL, then there is a separate URL format,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
definitely. For the Postgre, you have to do URL will be always separate and the driver will be always separate.
Okay. So depending upon the the database that we are connecting,
Correct.
then we need to
Correct.
switch over to the connector type also, right? Now we have
Yes.
selected JDBC. Okay, what would be in case of PostgreSQL? Then what would be the connector type? Is it same JDBC or?
No, no, the JDBC is standard one, Java database connectivity. It's a standard connector. That connect to all the database. So basically, in the backend, they're using the standard Java JDBC code that required only username, password, and the URL and the driver name, right? So that information only we need to provide, irrespective of whatever database you are using. Accordingly, you have to provide here. It will work absolutely fine.
Okay, okay, Rahul. So here we are using connection user, right? Like, so this is something like we created when we configure the database client, right? Connection
Yeah.
user and password.
Right.
In real time, so there is a application, JDBC application. So should we have to use the same, you know, connection user and password, or
No, 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 no. In the local For the training purpose, we are doing everything inside the one machine. We are inside doing the one database.
Okay.
The real scenario, there will be a database located in some other server. Okay. That has all this data that organization using, right? We need to ask them, okay, provide us basically username, password, provide us the URL, right? Provide us a query, and that information you will fill here.
Okay, so we no need to worry about this credentials. They will provide us.
Yeah, definitely. So credentials responsibilities of always of application team.
So will they create any specific service account for us to connect with the system?
Yes,
Or
yes, they will always create service account because right, like as a SailPoint, we are connecting to their database. Maybe ServiceNow also connecting to their database. Some other application team also connecting to database, right? So how they will track it, right? So for every other application systems, like for example, as a SailPoint, we are connecting their database to SailPoint. So they will create one service account for us.
Okay.
That service account username, password provide here, URL provide here, a driver, and then the query. That's it.
Rahul, can you please explain about the service account? I'm a bit confusion on that service account.
Service account is, let's say, example, I'm the owner of one database, right? Let's say this track. Okay. So I have a one server on which we have configured this MySQL or let's say Postgre database. Okay. Where basically whenever every user login into track system, track web application, their authentication or basically their account basically is stored in my database repository, right? Now you say that, okay, hey, we need to connect my database with the SailPoint system, and you need all information of users, right? So now I have a root user, okay, from which every day I log in. What I do, I'll create a sub user for you in my database, specifically for you. I'll create a user, let's say SVC underscore service, basically SVC underscore SailPoint, and I'll create one password and I'll share with you. Okay. And with the database, so what you call the user, right? The SVC underscore SailPoint or whatever service account name, right? I will also try to possible as much as possible, or basically it's allowed by my technology, database technology. I will give you only limited access that, okay, only users table you can read, other product information, other financial transaction, etc. you cannot read, right? Now using this service account, you will put that service account name here and you will connect and you will be able to read my users information. So that is service account. Same way tomorrow ServiceNow team come and say that, okay, they also need to create connect to my system. So I'll create a separate service account. So you can say sub admin's account basically.
So the service accounts like same like connection user and password, the same as or the different?
No, service account means this is also account, admin account. Service account is also account.
So the same way they are giving another user for the service.
Yeah, username, password they will give. You have to provide the service account username and password as it is.
Okay. And database are also the same or for the different? I mean, if we're accessing the same database, for example, if I'm making a track, so they will give the track, right?
Database URL will be, they will also provide you, right?
Okay.
Where the database is located.
Okay.
Maybe inside the track system, there are multiple database.
Okay.
Track admin, track backlog, track product, multiple database they have, right? In which they have information of users. Only that database they will provide you, right?
Okay. And only for the service accounts, one which related to database or any other accounts? I mean,
Sorry, what is that?
So service accounts which related to only service accounts which we called only which related to database or any other applications?
Service account only related to this database.
Oh.
The purpose of service account is basically we need one service from the track system. So for this particular service, they will create another account, separate account from their regular accounts.
Rahul, can I explain if you want?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So here, Ramu,
yeah,
the connection user and connection password is used, right? So it is a root account. Root is a super user account for the MySQL JDB, database which is installed. MySQL is installed, right? On Rahul's mission, the root is a super user account. Now what he has done on super user account with root, he has created identity IQ database. He has created track database, some other database. So what happens is each database, it cannot be accessed by root. Everybody is not given with root and root privileges credentials. So for that case, what happens? The individual database user account is created. For track, there will be a track database user account and password. And in that you will have two tables. One is capabilities and users. So there will be a separate database user account. So because root account is not given to everybody for every database. So specific to that database, the database user account is created. So even if you look at identity IQ also, for identity IQ also, there is a identity IQ database user account is also there.
Okay, okay, Ramesh.
Yeah.
Thank you thanks for that clear information
Yeah.
inputs.
Rahul, one question I have.
Mhm.
So if you the JDBC driver you are putting, right, the driver information. So before that, do we need any library jar files to
Yes,
copy?
yes.
And
Yep.
is that by default it is copied by SailPoint installation,
No.
or explicitly you have copied the JDBC drivers? That
Actually,
library.
SailPoint says that
Yeah.
even MySQL you cannot use.
Okay.
By default, the MySQL library is there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But SailPoint says that by the time you are downloading this version, right? Identity IQ 8.2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
This was launched last year.
Okay.
Now we are using, let's say, in August. Okay. It is possible that during this time there are some vulnerability inside the MySQL database.
X.
So MySQL might want to change their jar file. So if you go to web apps, IDIQ, webnf, lib, here you will see all libraries which are used by SailPoint.
Yeah, there is a MySQL connector already. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe it is possible that when SailPoint launched this 8.2, that time they use this latest MySQL library from the MySQL. But right now there are some, vulnerabilities in this MySQL system. So MySQL provided a new library. So SailPoint says that you can use it, but when you are actually using it for production, you have to delete these libraries, all these important libraries, and you should download all this of library from the official website or basically from a license account. You should download this library, latest one, and those only you have to use. So let's say tomorrow if you're using a Postgre here, so at least for the MySQL, this is there because SailPoint knows that okay, at least one database you will be connecting, right, for the training purpose or let's say for dev environment purpose, right? So you need this database, this, and MySQL is widely used, so that's why they have provided. But other database libraries are not available here. You have to explicitly down one by one. Example, today I have to use Postgre, so I have to download the Postgre library, and you have to provide a Postgre library inside this lib folder library.
Yeah. So okay. Second question I have. Can you go back to that identity warehouse and open any record which has a finance application or this new application, track application? Entitlements. See here, there is something I'm seeing, direct and effective on the right side.
Yep.
What is this, difference here with respect to entitlements?
I need to check this.
Yeah, I was today I was looking at entitlements. I saw this option for first time. Okay, that's fine.
Trying to check this.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Any other question, anyone?
So Rahul, the jar file you showed, right, in the library you showed some files, right? So is it necessary to have a connection with the, database application when these jar files?
I'm sorry, what is it? Can you explain again?
This jar file you showed, right, MySQL controller Java, the inside the library. So
Right.
is it necessary to have a connection with the database application?
I mean, if you have to read data from a database, you have to make a connection, right?
Okay.
So you need libraries for that.
Okay.
So basically, whatever you do here, right?
Okay.
different code executed in the backend. All those are written in the different libraries.
Okay. 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 Got it.
Every single thing you do here, right? There's a code written in the backend. Some are inbuilt in the product, some are externally provided here as a libraries. Whatever code we use for INT-IQ, right? That is here basically inside the INT-IQ. This is the SailPoint itself library, INT-IQ.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So last time, if you remember, I mentioned that we have to install this Java 1.7 and the LDAP browser. Now I'm going to show you how you have to set up the LDAP browser, the LDAP server basically. Make sure you you have this Java configured properly. Java 1.8 for the SailPoint and Java 1.7 for this LDAP browser. In your software folder, you will see this file OFMOUT. Right click and extract. So this is the LDAP from Oracle Unified Directory, OUT. Right. Copy this OUT and paste in your folder. Okay. Right click and use that OUT. Yeah, go inside this one. This is setup. Double click on the setup and you will see it will fail because there is a way we have to launch this. Invoke the setup.exe with this -gre and this format. Means open the command prompt, run this setup.exe -gre lock and the location of GRE, the new GRE which you installed. Java GRE. Copy this. So we have to invoke this setup.exe space -gre log L capital and location of GRE. If you have space in this GRE, it will not work. In this path basically. Now we'll see the installer of this Oracle Unified Directory. Click on next button. Skip software update. Next. Make sure you are getting this both check mark true. Next. This is the location where it will install. Copy this and put this location here. I'll change this location. If it's going to install this here, what I'm going to do. Stop. Set the patch to are installed. So I will change this location to like this. Okay. See user Raul desktop SailPoint patch 2/Oracle. So it will create Oracle folder and middleware. Copy this here. Okay. Click next. Install. Next. Finish. This part is done. Now go to your SailPoint patch folder. You will see one folder created here, Oracle. Go inside this middleware. Oracle OUD1. At the bottom, you will see this OUD setup. Click on this. So we don't need to set up all this stuff in your project, but for training purpose, all this application system we have to set up locally, right? So for that reason, you should know how to set up this, because in the coming session, we are going to do a lot of practical on this LDAP application. So this is a graphical user interface launch, Oracle Unified Directory setup. Next. This is a server name. Basically, it's copying my machine host name. Default port number of LDAP is 389. Root user DN. So like, the root user, like we have a root in database, same way we have a user here in the LDAP. This is the password I'm setting up here. Next. This will be a standalone server. Next. Okay, what is the customer name? Let's say we are working for one organization called Acme, ACM. So I'll use that customer name here. Okay, Acme. Base DN, base path, basically of our server. Now dietary data, basically, yeah, go next. 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 Start server when configuration is completed, finish. Don't do other changes because this is very older version. It will not work. It will not support a lot of operations. So just use this default options, what I selected it. Now this is the actual server we are configuring. This is the it closes. Last Friday, we have installed this LDAP browser. So LDAP browser is basically a browser through which we can access this server. Like we have a workbench. Through workbench, we can access the database. We can browse the database. So we have LDAP browser through which we can browse the LDAP server database. Let's open that LDAP browser. Okay, these are my previous server. Create a new connection. Let's say August P2. You can name here. Next, host name. Port number by default 389 is there. Click on fetch base D. D is equal to Acme, D is equal to com. It will automatically come. Next. Principal means your username. Provide here. CN equal to directory manager. Password. They have also mentioned that example CN equal to user like this. Okay. So we have provided this. Save password. Next. Object class equal to star means all type of object. Since it's a fresh LDAP server, we won't be able to see any data inside this. We are connected, connection successful, but we don't have any data here. In order to add this data in, because this setup we are doing fresh here, right? What you need to do, 1 second. Let me share one file and upload this on the drive. We need to use one file actually. Tell you what is this file. Here on the WhatsApp. Okay, I just forward one file. Just download this file in your local machine. So this is a file, create LDAP system account in bulk. Okay. this file will use. But before that, we need to connect this. We need to make an application in SailPoint. So now go to application definition, add new application, LDAP. Owner, let's say this is managed by Barbara Wilson. Application type, LDAP. Now go to configurations. Same configuration we need to provide here. Username, password, host name. Port number is by default 389. Where we have to search users, search DN, search distinguished names with users. Destination working fine. Save this. You have to save this application. Now after that, open this file. Create LDAP system in bulk notepad. Here we have some Java code. Application name change. LDAP, whatever application name you are using. And this line also. So here I'm using organization name SBI. So in current batch, I'm using Acme. So type it Acme. Save this. After this, we have to import this file. How can we import file in SailPoint? Global setting, import from file. This option, select file here. This is a file. Import this. This is basically Java code called rule. Copy this rule name. Go to debug page. Select this rule here. And simply click on run rule. But it's waiting. Oh, let's see what is the issue. Okay, I think I configured this wrong. Okay, I'll tell you what the problem. Okay, let me read this OUT. This is the one, sorry, Oracle, right? That Oracle middleware. Instance one I set up, right? So this has some issues. Okay, so this is not right. So let me delete this, and I'll also tell you what is the issue. Let me use this. I'll set up a fresh one.
So Rahul, that OU equals people, was it existing already? I think OU equals people was not there in the base DN.
O equal to people is not there. Now
Yeah.
what I need to do, I have to connect with this LDAP as
Yeah.
the admin. From the admin tool, I have to create that OU.
Yeah.
So that will be difficult for everyone to understand. So that's why I'm ignoring this and I'm setting up a new one. And there's a one shortcut here through which it will be automatically created here.
Okay.
I'll use the same password here. Next. Next will be this equal to this one. Just do one thing. Select this option, import automatically sample data. Let's say 5 users. That's it. Now it will create that O equal to people automatically. Next. 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 That particular option you have to select. That's create sample 5 user, 10 user. That's it. It's done. Close this. Now in the browser we already create connection. So refresh this. You see, there's a folder here. We call it OU, organizational unit. Now we have sample users. Sample user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now let's go back to your LDAP application and run this code now. this Java code basically will create user, because this is a fresh LDAP server we configured, right? So we need some sample user here. So using this code, we'll create some sample user. This code is executed. Now go here, refresh. You will see your user, James Smith, Barbara Wilson, etc. All the users here. Right. Now we have all this user. So example, we have this user called Robin, right? So if you see, we have CN, SN, UID. Out of this, which attribute can be used for correlation? Anyone?
UID.
Yes. So go to this LDAP application, click LDAP, correlation, new, provide a name here. Next, application attribute UID. Whenever this match with which attribute? UID can be matched with which attribute? Username, full name, correct? So name attribute basically. Right. Click add. Next, save. Save this. Now go to task. Yeah, one more thing. The LDAP, we define the name, owner, connection, this application type. We have provided a configuration parameter. We have defined the OU, right? Where we have all the users. Destination is working fine. We have defined the correlation. But one thing, schema. Schema we don't need to define here. Why? If you see schema is pre-populated. Whenever you have a standard connector, right? LDAP is a standard connector all over the world. Let's say you download the LDAP, I download LDAP, your organization download the LDAP, right? They all have a same set of attribute like CN, card license, business category, all this. So whenever we onboard any standard application, you will see schema is pre-populated by the SailPoint. We don't need to do anything. Okay. Now, but you can do preview. Preview showing all these users, right? Now, go to setup, task, account aggregation, LDAP. So if you remember, we talk about orphan account, basically those accounts which cannot be linked to the real identity. Now we create some sample user here. Is there any way we can, we can stop user, basically stop SailPoint to bring those user into SailPoint system? Yes, we have this option here. Only create link if they can be coded to an existing identity. So SailPoint will only read those accounts which can be linked to an identity. The rest all will be ignored. Go to select application, LDAP. Save and execute LDAP account aggregation. LDAP account aggregation is finished. Accounts can LDAP scan 168 users total. Ignored 5. You remember? I created 5 sample users. So all 5 are ignored. Rest all updated 163. Let's go to any user. Let's say Edward Baker. Edward Baker is an employee now who has LDAP account. Any question here, anyone?
Rahul.
Yep.
So this refresh identity cube, we have certain configurations, right? Like refreshing identities. So anytime we onboard a new application and do the account aggregation, before that, I mean, is there any use of refresh identity cube?
No.
So what
refresh
cases?
identity cube basically act on the data, right? So let's say we have to refresh manager. So you will run the task. Tomorrow you have to run policy, you will run the task. You have to assign role, you will run the task. Otherwise, it's not required.
Okay, it's only for SailPoint objects.
Of SailPoint within the SailPoint system, different activities, events you want to trigger. For that, you will run the refresh task. Otherwise, it's not required.
So last time you have done one application. I think before that you have executed refresh identities
because
manager.
Because we configured manager. For manager can be triggered only because of the refresh task. So that's why I use a refresh task.
So when you say manager configured, was it a correlation you are saying, or is it a mapping
It was
of?
correlation. No.
Okay.
Manager basically done from the HRMS application.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the manager setting, basically the concept of manager is basically SailPoint concept, right?
Correct.
So for that, in order to basically SailPoint will build this manager correlation. But in order to populate those manager on identity, we have to run a refresh task. Refresh task will actually do that job. Refresh manager status. This is what we saw last time, right?
Yeah. And what about refresh identity attributes?
General attributes, all this attribute.
So when we run the HRMS aggregation, it is already populating, right? This data.
No. So sometime what happens is basically right now we have less data actually, right?
Okay.
When you run the aggregation, it populated, right? Sometime what happens is basically in the coming session, you will see we
Okay.
configure this mapping, right? We some add code, some event we define, etc. Right? Based on that, we want to trigger those, right? Or sometime basically we run the aggregation, but data is not populating here because you have 1 lakh plus identities, right? So you have to run the refresh task to load the latest data here. Right now we have very less data.
Okay. Okay, Rahul.
Right now we have very less data, so everything work without refreshing, etc. Right, in the coming session you will see I'll be using the access request framework, right? So a request will be complete immediately, but in the real environment what happens, request goes to the background thread, and after some time they SailPoint pick those requests and from the queue and start working on that.
Okay.
All right, any other question here, anyone?
Rahul, actually, I do have a basic doubt here.
Yeah.
So, actually, what is the concept behind the LDAP applications? So I understand JD is a delimited application. So I don't understand. I mean, the thing behind the LDAP application.
Purpose of this
Any-
LDAP application connecting SailPoint, or purpose of this LDAP application in the organization?
Yeah, purpose of the LDAP application in the organization also.
Okay, tell me about what is the purpose of track system in the organization.
So track, since we watched your session, so you said like it's a timesheet application, so we can use it to mark our effort, daytime effort, so daily efforts there.
Okay, what happened? Let's say when user login. So basically, these are the track application, right? All the people who log into Track's timesheet web portal, right? We have a list of those users who has account, right? We are maintaining through SailPoint.
Okay.
Now, when they log in into track system, they need authentication process, right? So organization says that we will do authentication from LDAP. Okay, because LDAP works fast, right? And they need a special, second level authentication mechanism. So they will use LDAP. Basically, LDAP generally what happens is whenever you log in into your application system in an organization, your credentials are validated, right? Now, previously, your credential basically valid against Active Directory system, main system, right? Now, the problem with Active Directory was basically Active Directory is a heavy system, right? It's completely managing your user, computer, different object in your organization, and it's completely managing all user. There are some policies also, a lot of considerations also on the LDAP system, right? Organization want a similar kind of a system just for authentication purpose. The authentication part they want to remove from the Active Directory. That way they want to secure the Active Directory data. Second part is, they want a fast authentication mechanism. So every organization, what they do, they connect their Active Directory system with the LDAP. And now every user, when they log in, their authentication will be done by the LDAP system. Now LDAP and AD will be, syncing in the backend. So whenever you log in to some web portal, etc., your credential will be validated against the LDAP system. So this is how organization use LDAP. But now it's totally going to be totally replaced because of we have different type of tool like Okta, single sign-on. Actually, at the core, Okta also use LDAP, right? But it's a pure web interface they have configured with a lot of features, right? So now your authentication is done by the Okta or Microsoft Authenticator or different applications.
So basically,
So you when you log into your office laptop, do you use any kind of authentication mechanism?
yes, we use
Which one?
single sign Google Azure sign on.
Azure, right?
Yes.
I mean that Microsoft Authenticator app, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So that means Microsoft also have your data, correct? That then only they are checking, okay, you are a right person, and they are giving you that code in your mobile app, correct?
Yeah.
The same way we maintain the data in the LDAP system.
Okay. So basically, LDAP is used for authentication purpose.
For authentication purpose, but this is very old technology.
Okay.
So Rahul, are we going to cover Okta or AD installation here?
AD only, not Okta.
Okay.
Okay, now one more thing, why we are onboarding LDAP here in SailPoint, right? So in order to test or basically learn, we need a direct connector where SailPoint can go and do everything directly. So earlier application finance is a disconnected application, a delimited application where SailPoint can read the data, but SailPoint cannot write. Provisioning is not possible. We need a system, or we call a direct connector, basically where SailPoint can write automatically and read automatically, end to end. So that's the reason we are using here LDAP system. In the coming session, you will see a lot of example. I will only cover on the LDAP application because we need a direct connector here. Direct connector means basically a standard connector, a standard application system for which SailPoint already written code in the backend to read the data and to write the data, both.
So any example applications so we can say for LDAP?
Sorry, what?
Any application in real time example for LDAP
LDAP is a
connector?
real-time example.
Sorry.
LDAP is a real-time example. In many organizations, you will see they are onboarding LDAP system.
Okay. LDAP itself is an application.
Yeah, definitely. It's a see, everything which is storing the user information, it's an application for you. Even a CSV file, Excel file is also basically what if you see what is the significance of that CSV file? Nothing, right? It's an export, it's a report data basically, right? So that is also application for us. Okay. Any other question here, anyone?
I think no questions from anyone, Rahul.
Cool. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. We'll continue from tomorrow. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thanks, Rahul.
Mm.
Thanks, Rahul.